we are going to be talking about environment and how your environment affects your growth and your quality of life. If you're watching this and you feel like you've done all you can do emotionally and with your inner work and you are still blocked, your environment is likely holding you back. And I say this because so many people who speak on like wellness and healing fail to address that your outer world can affect your inner world more than people want to admit. It is really hard to advance in life and grow and become a better person. Not become a better person, but become an evolved version of yourself when you are blocked. And so I'm here to really talk about that relationship with between your environment and your inner world and how that's affecting you from elevating your life. And I got my notes right here. All this came off the dome while I was cleaning because I just cleaned my house and I was like, wow, there's really a quantum shift that happens when you clean your house and you clean your bedroom or you clean your space. Hey, what's up? The Pimp Lord, what's up? Thank you for listening. So if you've done all the internal work you can do and you are still feeling stuck, it's time to look outside of yourself so that you can identify what in your environment, which is also think about it as your energy field, is blocking all the goodness that you are trying to attract. And that goodness may be wealth, that may be good relationships, that may be good friendships, that may be inner peace. So if you've done everything that you could do and you're like, why am I not attracting wealth? Why am I not attracting good relationships? Why am I not attracting good friendships? Why are all my friends messy? Why is everything just falling apart in my life? It's time to really start looking in your environment. If you've done all of the inner work and you're consistently doing that, because even if you're doing the inner work, what's happening in your environment can still affect you. All this came about because I just cleaned my house. And like I was saying, the quantum shift was crazy. Like there's literally a energetic shift that happens when your house is clean. Yes. Can y'all please share this? I'm new to the live. So like whatever you do, just go ahead and do it. I'm also recording this for my YouTube. So nobody's going to really miss anything if you aren't on this live, because I'm going to upload this video to YouTube. I'm recording for YouTube as we speak. Let's start with the trap of internal work alone. And I talked a little bit about this when I first started, but what a lot of people into healing and wellness, or even spiritual people, lean into just the internal work alone. And I don't think enough people focus on the outside influence that internal work requires in order for you to actually elevate in life. And I say that because this is important, because a lot of people don't come up in good homes. They don't come up in clean, organized, or orderly homes. So it's really hard to be on this journey of elevation or a spiritual journey, and all you know is chaos in the home, and you don't know how to create order in your life, in your outward life. It's really hard to try to do that with your inner self when all you know is negativity, when all you know is chaos. So long story short, you can be emotionally evolved and still be surrounded by stagnant energy, especially if you're, for example, say if you stay at your parents' house, or you stay with a relative, or you have a roommate. You can be very much on your journey of healing and growth, but this energy around you. As soon as you leave your room, it's stagnant energy. You have a roommate who's chaotic, who's always bringing in new people. There are dishes in the sink. Nothing is organized. You guys haven't vacuumed in a while. You haven't opened the door for fresh air. All of that stagnant energy adds up in your environment. And then you wonder why you can do all the yoga, meditation, journaling in the world and still feel out of balance. There is a very tight relationship between having inner peace while also battling outer chaos. Another point is your environment is an energy mirror. Yes, definitely check out the YouTube video for sure. And I appreciate you for watching. Your outer space, your environment is an energy mirror. And it holds vibration. Your space holds vibration. And if you already have done your studying and you know that everything in this life, in this world, is energy, frequency, and vibration. If you occupy a low vibrational environment and that's all you see is chaos, disorderliness, mess, dirt, filth, that is the vibration that your mind is taking in. So all the internal work that you might be doing is getting counteracted by your environment. And so you have to watch out for that, because your environment is literally a mirror, an energy mirror for all that you want to attract. So if you want to attract prosperity and you want to attract wealth, more opportunities, and a good life, then that's what your environment should be reflecting. And what that is organization, clean, good energy, good air, fresh air. But beyond just the physical layer, there are other layers. So I want to go through all the different layers that influence a person's environment, because I want to keep this video at like 20-30 minutes. I don't want to go too long. So we'll start with the physical layer, and I'm going to go through each of these quickly. The physical layer is, think about it with your room layout. Okay, is your room clean? Do you have all your clothes put away? 2, is there space? When you walk in, is there space for you to actually breathe and take in the energy of your room? Think about your room layout. Think about the lighting in your room. I like to use light in my room to step into different energies. I have a big LED ring light that has different colors, and I like, whenever I'm doing any type of chakra work or healing work, I like to tune into the colors of that chakra with this light and use the lighting for healing. And that's just such a underrated, I feel like, form of healing. People think they need to go out and buy this and buy that all the time. You can really do all of this stuff at home. Make a one-time investment in a LED light or LED lights. Make sure that you're able to pick the color and then use that to tune in to the frequency of that chakra that you want to work on healing. So for example, if it's solar plexus has to do with your confidence. If you're having trouble being confident, standing up for yourself, expressing yourself, being your own person, that means that you need to focus on solar plexus healing. So that color, the color related to solar plexus healing, is yellow. And so what you will want to do is tune to yellow. Get your new light and tune to yellow. Sorry, y'all. Get your new light and immerse yourself into that solar plexus energy. That's a form of healing, and that's a direct way on how you can use your environment for healing. Thank y'all for joining. Feel free to drop any questions if you guys have them. I'm just going through the different layers of environmental influence that affect your inner world. So you have the physical layer. I already talked about how you can use light healing in our physical world for healing, and that's a way that we can influence our environment to work for us versus against us. Another thing is make sure there is room for your spirit to breathe in your space. So you want to have as much space as possible to move around. You don't want clutter and crowdedness everywhere. That's very, very important. I want to move on to the social layer of your environment. If you're just hopping on, can you explain the Ankh if you haven't? The Ankh is the symbol of eternal life. So I'll go into that in another video. I have a video on my TikTok. If you go to my TikTok page, I think one of my pinned videos is on the Ankh, but I don't want to get too far off this conversation. But I have a really good video where I break down the full meaning of the Ankh and what power you're embodying when you wear the Ankh. So with the social layer of your environment, and this is one of those parts of your environment or your outer world that people tend to overlook, and that is, who are you surrounded by? Who you're surrounded by directly impacts your inner world, because you are sending yourself signals on the type of person you want to be by the type of people that you surround yourself with. And not only that, you also, whenever you embody a certain energy around other people or socially, that is reinforcing the type of person you want to be or the type of life you want to live. For example, with your tone, your conversation tone. If you're always disrespectful to people, let's just say this, if you're ignorant to people, like, let's be real, if you're ignorant to people and you always have a very nasty tone, you always have an attitude, that's what you're going to attract. That is literally that's what you're putting out into the energy field, and that's what you're going to attract in your world. Then you're going to attract friends who are ignorant, have an attitude, and disrespectful. And then all of a sudden, all you are around are people who are ignorant, have attitudes, and are disrespectful. Then you're never feeling good about yourself because you're not around people who are, what's the lack of ignorance? Intellectually stimulating. What's the lack of having an attitude? Being at peace and in harmony. What's the opposite of being disrespectful? Being respectful. So you're never going to attract that reality if you're surrounded by people who are those things, and you end up being that person yourself. So the social layer is very important. Next, with your environment, is the digital layer, and this is becoming more important because more people are spending time on their phone. So with the digital layer, just think about your feed as a diet, and your feed diet, right? What you eat on your feed is all emotional input that you're taking into your own energetic field. So if your feed is full of negativity, sadness, controversy, poverty, whatever it might be, if it's full of negative energy, then that's what you are taking into your psyche, and that's affecting all the inner work that you might be doing is being counteracted by your digital feed. Like I said, think about your feed like it is literally a plate of food, and that is what you are eating. So once you start thinking about your feed, like, I think this is a good way to think about it. Like, if you think about your feed like a diet and you have poor nutrition, you're going to become out of shape, overweight, unhealthy, and eventually you're going to be more prone to getting a chronic disease. If we relate that back to how you interact in the digital world, and you're eating, and you're, let's say, eating negative energy throughout your feed, and always feeding your body or feeding your psyche negative energy, then you're eventually going to have a poor mindset, a negative mindset. You're going to be chronically negative. You're going to be chronically anxious, because that's what a lot of this stuff on social media does, is make you anxious. And you are going to eventually be energetically blocked. You're going to be energetically blocked because you have a poor digital diet. And then I want to talk about this last layer, the energetic layer. What's up, y'all? If you're just joining, I'm talking about how your environment is blocking you. And we are going through the different layers that influence your environment, because it's not just your physical environment, it's also your physical environment, your social environment, your digital environment, and your energetic environment. These are all different layers, a part of your environment. So we're on the last one, and that's the energetic layer. And this is really important, because I think this is the layer, your energetic layer is the aspect of your environment that determines what you experience in the future the most. Because your energetic layer is where you decide to keep the residue from old seasons. You can choose to keep it, or you can choose to let it go. But a lot of people don't let's call it spiritual hygiene. They don't perform their spiritual hygiene, and they continue to dirty up. I don't want to use the word dirty up. They continue to cloud their energetic field with old residue from the past, whether that be toxic relationships, whether that be low confidence, low self-esteem, trauma, negativity, whatever it might be. They never really do the hygiene that they need to do to move on to the next season. So if you never let go of what you held on, never let go of what you experienced in the past that had an energetic imprint on who you are today, then you're going to continuously bring that residue into your present, and that's going to block you. So this is important. You need to do resets whenever you're going through something that doesn't embody the lifestyle that you eventually want to leave and level up from. You need to do resets, work with the elements, do sound healing, water healing, take baths, you could do candle work, or work with fire is a really good way to heal and move on and clean up energetic residue. It's really important to make sure that in this energetic layer of cleaning your environment, that you're taking it very, very seriously, because after you clean your physical, your social, your digital, you're left with the energetic, and a lot of people ignore that. You need to clean that energetic residue in order to move to that next level that you want to experience in your reality. So now that we gotten through all the layers, we are going to talk about signs that your environment is blocking you. Because a lot of people, I think we're conditioned to believe that it's always us. And I truly believe that a lot of people's where reality is due to how they grew up or their environment that they've been conditioned to survive in. So what I want to do is make sure that we all know, if you're watching this, I want to make sure you know what the signs are that your environment is blocking you. Because once you know and are aware of something, then it's on you to be able to get yourself out of that situation. So we're going to start with signs that your environment is blocking you. First is physically, your peace starts to fade when you enter that space. So for example, if you live with someone, and you might live with your parents, or you might have a roommate, and as soon as you walk in, you you're not peaceful, you're not in harmony. Say you may have went for a walk, you may have went to chill in nature and relax and let go, but when you walk into that space, you just feel energetically drained. That is because there are other energies within that space that may be influencing you. So that's something to keep in mind. Another thing is you're feeling tired even when you're home. So if you've been sleeping a lot, and you've already like checked your diet and your vitamins and your water intake, and you're still very, very, very tired, you may have some stagnant energy within your home that you need to check out and you need to address. Next is procrastination. So if you've been, say if you want to start a business, or you want to start a new job, or you want to get into a side hustle, or you're in school but you keep procrastinating, likely might be a factor is your environment is clouded and blocked. Another thing is if you're very irritated and very irritable, and I know some people are just irritable people, but if you are very prone to being irritated, it may be something in your environment, stagnant energy in your environment, that you need to address. And we're going to talk about how to cleanse your environment after this. And then lastly, another sign that your environment is blocking you is creative block even after you clean. So if you feel really, 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 really drained after you just cleaned, that means one, you had a lot of cleaning to do. And two, you might still have some energetic work that needs to be done. So think about it like that. If you already do the physical environment cleansing, but you still energetically feel very blocked and drained, take your nap after you do that physical cleaning. But if you still feel drained, it's time to make sure you do energetic cleaning. But also don't forget about the digital. Make sure you're doing a digital detox as well, and a social detox as well. And then now I want to talk about the environment. Now I want to talk about realignment. How do you realign after the energy has been stagnant, or after you've been around energy that has been blocking you in your environment? How do you take back control? Because that's what this is all about, right? We all have the control. We all have the power to heal our environments. That's a big pro of being a human. You can manipulate your environment in certain ways to work for you. You can place things, you can place plants in your house. You have the power to clean. You can open the door. These are all tools for us to become the best versions of ourselves. So let's start with how we can realign. One, make sure you declutter with intention. So if you have a lot of clothes, which I do, and that's something I need to work on. If you have a lot of clothes, start to declutter with intention. Maybe set a goal where you get rid of 10 to 15 things per week throughout the fall season, or the winter season, and then see how much you get rid of after that, and you'll literally start to feel lighter because you own less and you're decluttering. Get rid of all the little things in your life that you just don't need or don't use, and donate them or give them to someone else or sell them. Another way that you can realign is rearrange your room for a new flow. I have a book on Feng Shui. It's right here, actually. How to apply. Here, I'm working with one hand right now. How to apply Feng Shui. How to apply the secrets of Chinese wisdom for health, wealth, and happiness. And I got into this book and I started using the principles of Feng Shui in how I set up my room. One of the things that I did was make sure that my bed is facing the door, but not directly, but like where I'm diagonally seeing the room. And I would want to consult, like, to be honest, one day when I get wealthy, because I'm already wealthy, but when I get wealthier, I want to hire a Feng Shui practitioner to literally arrange my house so that I attract what I'm wanting to attract in my life, because it's really an energetic thing and how things are arranged. So yeah, like if you feel the need to rearrange your room, that's a sign that you should go ahead and rearrange your room. You're gonna start applying feng shui in how you rearrange your room. Think about energy flow, and go from there. Next is infuse gratitude and sound. So, uh, I know that can get a little frustrating when you are not where you want to be in life and you're trying to get there. One thing that you should definitely do is be gracious that you have a space or an environment. Even if you are not even if you live with someone else and you're still living with your parents, or you still have a roommate and your goal is to live alone, still show gratitude to the universe that you have somewhere to live, because a lot of people don't have anywhere to live or space at all to occupy. So make sure that when you are realigning your environment, that you are showing gratitude for even having an environment to realign, because a lot of people don't have anything of their own. And then also use sound. You may not be able to hear this, but I play frequencies almost 24/7. I am playing frequencies, and I intentionally place frequencies that align with what I want to attract. For example, 432 hertz is a frequency of love. So if I want to attract more self-love, I'm going to play 432 hertz while I'm cleaning my house, when I'm taking a walk, whatever. But especially when you are taking care of your house, that's a super powerful thing. I think there's one for wealth as well, and I think that's like 777 hertz. But I will look them up and find which sound frequency aligns with what you want in your life. And last thing that you could do to realign is, I challenge you to make a cozy corner in your room or your house or your space that is specifically for you to reset, where you don't have your phone, you don't have anything that is blocking your energy, and it's just for you to reset. And that's a very powerful way to start to reclaim your environment. Next, I want to talk about the soft life, because everybody, all my girlies want the soft life. I want the soft life. I have the soft life, okay? But what we fail to acknowledge when we talk about the soft life is that softness needs structure. All the influencers that we see who are best at showing what a soft life is and inspiring us to live a soft life, most of the times I see a lot of structure and order in their space. I don't see things that are out of place, and I don't see a lot of chaos. So if you want to attract the soft life, you have to have a certain level of structure to your life on every level. And I think that's a powerful way to reclaim your energy and take control of your environment. Start honing in on structure in every way that you can. And next is, your environment must feel safe. If you want a soft life, your environment has to feel safe. And that means making sure your environment is safe. Like, even if you live alone, if you're a woman, you live alone, one thing I would advise you to do, and you want to like be comfortable in your space, is get a security system. These are very practical advice on how to live a softer life. Get a security system and find different ways to make your house more secure. And you'll start to soften up, because you're like, okay, I got a security camera. I don't have to worry too much. I have this bar on my door. I don't have to worry too much. Get you some pepper spray or whatever else, and that will help you soften up into your environment, because that's very important if you want to attract a soft life in your environment. One thing you can control is your safety of your immediate space. I can say that much, of your immediate space. And then embody physical softness. Make sure that you are taking baths weekly. That's something that I do. I take baths weekly to embody physical softness, and it helps me reclaim my space because it goes hand in hand. My physical softness is encouraged by my baths, but I don't feel right taking a bath if my house is not clean. Or I feel more empowered to clean my house if I just got out of a bath. So that softness being triggered while taking my bath really encourages me to like get up, take control of my environment, clean, get inspired, take control of my energy. It's all connected when you really realize it. It's all connected. But okay, it's been 30 minutes. I said I wasn't going to be on here for more than 30 minutes. I'm going to leave some time for questions. And I'm about to close up in a second because I got to go. But if y'all have any questions, let me know. I'm about to spray I got some Florida water. I made this Florida water with different ingredients. All the ingredients you can think of. Orange, cinnamon, vodka, because you put alcohol in there, basil, rosemary, all homemade. And I sold a couple in my store, then I took it off my store because I wanted to keep my last few bottles to myself. And this has been simmering for 3 years now. So this is very, very, very potent Florida water. And this is a great way. Oh, I forgot to mention Florida water, and like different herbs and incense and sage are very great ways to take control of the energetic layer of your environment, because they change the vibration of the space. And like I said, everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. So if you have all these potent herbs, right, or potent herbs mixed into a water type of elixir, which is basically what Florida water is, then you are putting that energy out into the space, and it trumps any of the negative energy. It literally disseminates. Physically, you can't see it, but energetically, it disseminates that negative energy. And that's why a lot of people start to feel uplifted when they smell herbs, when they smell Florida water, when they smell sage, because it's literally energetically uplifting the environment. But I'm going to close up here. I'm going to check for any questions. I have more videos on the Ankh on my page. I'm going to close it and talk about the power of space. Remember that space is your collaborator in manifesting the life that you want to live. Think about your space as your invisible assistant in helping you reach the life that you desire. Your surroundings are literally a manifestation portal for everything that you want to attract. Whether it's good or bad, you are attracting things into your life through how you treat your environment and how you react to your environment and how you change your environment. Energy cannot flow where there is no room for energy to flow. If you have a lot of clutter, dirt, grime, just stuff blocking the flow of energy in your space, then there's no room for the energy of wealth, prosperity, growth to flow into your life. Next, your environment teaches your nervous system what's safe. So remember that how you treat your environment is going to affect your sense of safety. You're never going to feel safe if your environment is always chaotic. Even if, like I said, this doesn't go for if you have like your own space. Like even if you only have a room, even if you only have a half of a room, Treat that room like it is literally your safety net. Make sure that you treat it with so much respect and gratitude and care so that you can continuously attract what you want in your life, because you always know that when you go home or you go back to your space or you go back to in your environment, it's structured. You know exactly what you're getting yourself into, and it is your safe space. Next, know that creation needs emptiness first. So if you are a creative and you want to use your environment to be more creative, be more inspired, and start to expand on your creativity, it's very, very important that you create space for your creativity to flow. And this goes for any type of person who's working on a project and they need more. My camera just shut down, so I'm going to finish up soon because the camera that I'm recording on YouTube just shut down. And lastly, alignment starts in your environment. Remember that alignment starts with your environment. If you have a disorderly home, but you want to align with prosperity, or you want to align with freedom, because I know what the real reason that I want wealth is for freedom. And you want to align with freedom, right? And we all deserve freedom. When we're born, we're free. But we live in a world where freedom equals wealth. Like, you have to be the wealthiest people usually have the most freedom because they're not worried about money. If you want more freedom in your life and you want to align with that, start working on your environment. One thing that you can do every day is wake up and make your bed. That's what I do. Every morning I wake up and I make my bed. Start by making your bed every morning. Then throughout this week, make sure that you start working on different corners of your space. Whether it's decluttering and donating some stuff, or giving it to a friend, or throwing away some trash, some old food. I don't know what you got going on in your house, but whatever it is, work on, let's do this. Let's do 30 minutes per day. 30 minutes per day, work on a corner in your house. And corners are very powerful. They hold the most energy. So I say work on the corners first. When I used to clean and my room used to be really messy, I used to get everything from the corner and put it all in a pile. So try doing that. It's really, really important that we start taking our environment seriously. I know a lot of people get frustrated because they're doing all the inner work that they can do, but they don't feel like they're growing or they're elevating. So I encourage you to start looking at your environment. If you're doing all you can do internally, make sure your environment matches that same level of effort. I'm about to get off of here unless y'all have any questions. I'm going to upload this live onto YouTube. I was on live for like 30 minutes until my camera just shut down. But let me know if y'all have any questions. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes. I'm a little thirsty, so I got to get up and get some water. I'll pull a little chakra card for a message. Let's see if we have a message for any of the viewers. What chakra should my viewers focus on this week? And I want to start going live every Sunday because I like going live. I pulled solar plexus, and we talked about solar plexus earlier. So this is a solar plexus. I pulled a solar plexus before my camera shut down. I'm recording on here. I have the freedom to choose, so I choose wisely because my decisions have a great impact on how I see myself and how I feel about myself. I own, accept, and express my feelings unreservedly and do not try to escape them with my own mind games. I have free will to choose how I respond to any situation. I choose to respond with wisdom, clarity, and understanding. I like this. I like this for this topic of environment because it goes to show, and I kept pressing this message, that no matter what you occupy, no matter what your environment is, no matter if it's a room, a home, or you even share a bunk bed with your siblings, no matter what, you have the free will to choose how you respond to that situation. So no matter who you are sharing a space with, no matter who you are sharing your environment with, you have control on how that environment responds to you. So I hope this message really encourages you to take control of your environment as much as you can. Do what you can to take control of your space, your environment, and start educating yourself on how your environment affects you.